Brisbane in tropical North Queensland. Welcome to Mackay for round 2 of the Penrite Oil's ProMX Championships, brought to you by AMX Superstores. I'm Lee Hogan alongside former motocross and supercross star Danny Ham. Now Danny, round 1 we saw some incredibly good competition in the MX1 class. A lost opportunity for Kyle Webster, unfortunately, on some very valuable points.
I agree, Lee. He really showed how fast he was. We heard all the hype going into it, moving into the 450s, the pre-races. He was very, very fast. Sand is his absolute domain. He was fast, he was leading, he didn't close it out, and that's really important when you do move up into that class. You need to be able to close it out, and that's what will come with more experience.
Now the CDA Yamaha Monster Energy boys, of course, incredible 1-2, but Luke Clout, dominating form, winning both motos.
He was our other pick, wasn't he? Luke Clout was always going to be strong going in there. Maybe not as strong as we, on a track like this. In the sand, we thought maybe not quite as strong, but he's been putting the homework in. He was consistent all day, and he ends up coming out on top exactly where he needs to be.
Aaron Tanti, we knew he'd be good. We thought he'd be up there in the top 3, hopefully, but he got second. Incredible job.
Yeah, fantastic on the bike, the debut for the team anyway. He was a bit of an expected surprise, I guess you could say. We knew he'd do well. We weren't quite sure where he was going to sit. But yeah, what a ride by him, really boosting that confidence. And I think going further into this championship, he's going to be someone to really look out for.
And of course, the MX1 Championship points after round 1 at Wonthaggi, Danny.
Oh man, can't do any better than that. Clean sweep, 50 points there for Luke Clout, 42 back to our second place of TANTI. It's still very tight, early days, plenty of points to be made up here.
Now the track here at Gun Valley, Mackay, wow, everyone's been talking about it. Phenomenal, so picturesque. The surface here and the elevation, it's very exciting.
It is. This is real motocross, you know. I turned up here and I just got so excited seeing it. So really stoked to see how it is. We've had heaps of rain come down, but it hasn't affected the track. And you got a chance to go out and have a look at it yesterday. Let's go and see what it's all about.
Welcome to our track preview, brought to you by Michelin tyres. Now at any track you go to, the start's exceptionally important, but here at Gun Valley, if we have a look behind me, we can see this whole section is covered by grass. Slight bit of elevation as it turns into a right-hander that's quite possibly the fastest first turn on our whole circuit. If you keep looking, as it comes up and over the crest and down into turn 2, this could quite possibly be one of the best passing opportunities on the whole track. Now, here in turn 2 is where the action really starts. If you have a look over my shoulder, you can see as the riders come out of the start, they'll come over the crest of this hill and down into what looks like very smooth at the moment. Will develop some huge braking bumps. Riders will be up around 4th gear, but this is their last chance to make some very cool passing moves before riders settle into their positions and start copping some serious roost. On any given outdoor motocross track, we can normally expect about 3, maybe 4 decent-sized jumps. But here, deep in the sugarcane fields of Gun Valley, we've got not only the most amount of jumps, but some of the biggest jumps I've ever seen on any outdoor track. And none more so than this one right here, measuring 30 metres from tip to tip. But not only the distance, if you have a look, we can see it turns around to the left, and very, very technical. If the riders don't turn, they're going to make their way off the track and have to come back on again. Going to develop lots of bumps, and very tricky part of the circuit. Now right here where I'm standing is a 7-metre wide patch where riders will be hoping to stick their lander after hitting this huge 30-metre booter. Well, that's our track preview here at Gun Valley with thanks to Michelin tyres.
Ready to go for the start of this Moto number 2 Pirelli MX2. Who will launch out first? We saw a Honda get off to a great start last time around. It looks like there could be some Yamahas in the mix this time as they dive.
Looks like another good start.
Dive into that first turn and down into turn number 2. You can see the rain has fallen a little bit coming down here, but it's a blue bike that leads this one. Is it a Dobson?
Dobson, it is Jesse Dobson from Wilson Todd back there in 2nd place. I saw it was a red bike that got out good, and a Yamaha, but couldn't quite pick up what it was. But Jesse Dobson got out good in that first one, just came together with another rider, and he will be hoping to make amends here. The pole sitter, fastest in qualifier, has logged himself a whole shot here in Moto 2.
Both Kingsford and MALKIEWICZ have also got themselves off to a good start this time. They are in 4th and 5th. Alex Larwood back there in 8th, so ran up there, up the front in the first moto. So look out for all of these riders as they move through the bottom part of the track and try and negotiate some of these deep ruts. And what a lead already.
The pace already, this first lap pace. And I was about to say before the drop of the gate, if we just had a little bit more time, we haven't really seen Wilson Todd press too much in these early stages of the race. He's been able to get a good start, or at least a whole shot. He's basically a whole shot nearly every single race. And he's been able to do his own thing, ease his way into the race, control it. He doesn't pull away and win by 15, 20 seconds, etc. So this is an interesting start. Let's go down to Cam.
Just a quick one, gentlemen. We're down the start line. I did notice previously, Bailey MALKIEWICZ and a few of the other guys still on a sand tyre or a paddle tyre. Alex Larwood, Jesse Dobson, I think from memory, those guys are on a more traditional MX tyre. Interestingly enough, Alex Larwood didn't quite get the start that he wanted, but he's out there now. So keep an eye on this moto. We'll see how Alex Larwood pans out.
Well, Larwood has moved up just a couple of places now, sits there in 5th as they go back across that section that you are on there, Cam. And he, on screen is the 21 machine of Kingsford. He has a lot of pressure right behind him from Brody Conley, who had an incredible moto #1.
Now the rain has picked up once again, and just to follow on from what you were saying, Cam, we're having a quick little look here at a replay. Oh, it was a very close to a tuck front over the bars. It was what we call a knife situation. The front end just knifed and almost spat him over the handlebars. But this rain's starting to fall now. Have a look at the roost that is copying. The rider there's just got no goggles on, and wondering if vision played a role in the fact of him hitting the deck. But the gap continues to stretch out ever so slightly from first place, Jesse Dobson, back to our second place rider, Wilson Todd. And Bailey MALKIEWICZ says, have a look at the rain. It is coming in sideways here. And this track, if this keeps up, it's going to deteriorate on the back part of the track where we see hard packed parts of the circuit. Now that number 9, let's pick that up, Danny. Who have we, we've lost our number 9 on a Honda machine.
Yeah, it's looking for that one as well. We'll pick that up in just a moment as it comes through for us. Into the mechanics area just briefly.
Aaron Mason, I believe that is, Danny.
So not the start that he was looking for in this moto. I was going to say that MALKIEWICZ was catching into second place of Wilson Todd, but he has replied to that, and Todd has stretched back out. There is Larwood trying to make the moves. He likes to do it very difficultly, doesn't he?
For himself. I mean, look, yeah, when you're coming in, just to give our viewers a little bit of insight, because we haven't basically given them a rundown. Our rider who got second place at round 1, the only one to really challenge Wilson Todd, Alex Larwood, has just come off the back of surgery only a handful of days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. A broken collarbone and a plate inserted onto that collarbone. You know, had a bit of a chat to him in between races of what a warrior effort to be able to do that, and basically said, really, it's just a matter of dealing with the pain. It's not a joint, it's not like a wrist where you've got to move it. It's a bone, it's been plated, I can deal with the pain, I'm okay. And I said, surely during the race it's probably okay, right? And he said, exactly. Once you finish and the checkered flag comes out, that's when you remember what's going on.
The speeds haven't slowed down at all along that fast straight. There is our race leader, Wilson Todd, now starting to look like he's finding form. A little bit wider there. Well, it's an interesting line. Yeah, maybe something a little different and creative, trying to find those parts of the track that he's going to be able to make up some new lines, a bit smoother, and make up some time. It looked like he lost a bit in that particular section as they go up towards this huge tabletop, nice outside line. Huge jump there, isn't it? The way they launch up and over the top.
It sure is. And just in that last lap alone, lost another second and a half, Wilson Todd did, to our race leader, Jesse Dobson, who's on a mission at the moment. There was a lot of talk about Jesse Dobson leading into this particular round because he's ridden this track quite a bit. He knows it well, and he's riding so clean at the moment. It's great to see. In fact, when I was speaking to Todd Waters about this track, and he explained to me the loose river sand, a couple of the different sections, and how you would explain the track before I hopped on a plane to fly up, he said,
oh, he's gone down.
Looks like we've lost it. Who have we lost?
It's a Yamaha right there. Dobson.
There he is. Dobson has gone down.
Oh, no. Sorry to butt in there, mate, but
hey, it was a worthy butt-in. You deserve that. And it was, without a doubt, it was right in the middle of me giving him a pat on the back. And I was about to say, Todd Waters said, look, you need to hop on Instagram and go and have a quick look at Jesse Dobson's video. And sure enough, it was a very cool little video that showed the awesome whoop section and jumping into it. So he's going to have to remount another challenge now. Finds himself on the back of a very fast Dylan Wills, who we know for sure from Moto 1 how fast he can go. And there has a sneaky little look over his shoulder because he's got company behind him as well.
How would the vision of Larwood be at the moment? Two bikes absolutely roosting him. His goggles would be completely covered at the moment as they go down into this left-hander. I was expecting a few more lines to be developed out of that, but it's just pushed up that one big cushion around the outside and keeping that momentum going into this right. And yeah, they're so close to the moment. Oh, Wills with a mistake coming out of there. The back end slides around and it's allowed Dobson to go straight past. So now will Dobson open up that lead? He's got clear track in front of him, and can Alex Larwood, again, he loves this inside line, make that pass, and he does.
Nice pass there and relegating Dylan Wills back at another spot. So he's managed to go from third back to fifth in just a handful of corners, but things starting to take shape now. Wilson Todd at the head of the pack, only holding down a 1.2 second lead over Bailey Malkiewicz, who we know has great pace. He was really flying around that first moto until that little crash and still managed to rebound with a good result. So a few incidents, obviously a lot of speed, but a few incidents from the Serco Yamaha boys, both of them today.
17 minutes left in this one. Some outside lines, some different lines by Larwood. I guess out of everyone though, Larwood is using all the different lines. He knows what's available around the track for him to use when he needs to, as they work towards the finish line again, up and over this tabletop.
And also, let's not forget, Danny, that when roost gets thrown at you in these conditions, it just sticks to your goggles. It's just, it's incredible. You just need to be literally clearing your vision every time you're sitting right behind someone. So you need to kind of get creative and chop and change your lines, go from the outside to the inside, and quite often find a line that might not be the best on the track, but that you're not going to get completely peppered and filled in. And I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Bailey Malkiewicz here, as he's once again taken a full second out of our race leader, Wilson Todd.
Oh, there is Bud, a slight tuck of the front wheel as he went through that turn past the mechanics area. So he is still back there in 7th place, putting on a massive charge. He's right in there behind Kingsford as the two riders go off that flying single jump, big ski jump into this right hand of the back end, stepping around on Kingsford's bike as they go into there. But again, as we said, had such a good run. Oh, Haruyuki Yokoyama,
oh, and
he means business.
Is that with his teammate, Jai Constantino? No.
Yeah, they're together.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they're together.
Well, we've said it before, Hammy. You and I have been teammates before.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be beaten by a rider, but the worst thing is to be beaten by your teammate. And there we just saw it on first hand there on the screen.
Well, just moments ago on our timing, as we have a look at this replay, Constantino tries to go around the outside. It's a brave move by anyone.
It is. That's a big call going. And look, Jai's a good friend of mine, as is his dad, Steve. And I'm going to say it anyway. That is just trying to call someone's bluff, isn't it? It's just going, I'm tipping it in on the outside. I dare you to punt me.
And the call was answered.
The call was answered with spades.
Oh, wow. Good to see that they're still battling it out all the way through here as we've got 7 minutes left on the clock for Moto number 2. And it looks like, who have we got on screen? Oh, it just shows you how hard it is at the moment to see. That's Ferguson on the 29 machine that just took the goggles off. If you can't see where you're going, you certainly cannot go fast on the track. And right now it's becoming very difficult. And it might not just be the roost leave from the riders in front with that rain that we had falling earlier on. Those roll-offs and if you had tear-offs, they all go very quick because that rain just completely destroys your vision non-stop. So quite potential that was the case, but either way, he's without goggles now, and he's got the rest of the race, another 6 minutes to deal with it.
Well, Wilson Todd, he stretched that gap out even a little bit further now to almost 6 seconds. He just seems to be a bit like a fine red wine in this race. He just seems to be getting better as it goes on. He's looking smooth. He hasn't missed a beat. Very tricky part of the track, of course, where we saw that huge crash from Luke Clout before.
Nice style over the top there too.
Beautiful.
Malkiewicz there in second, but it is starting to get a little closer now between Malkiewicz and Dobson, with again Dobson having a quicker last lap by around about a full second. So 2 seconds left to go for second and third. We could see a battle start to come up.
Did you just notice then
Hopped up before.
So, and I haven't seen anyone, not MX1, nobody, on that huge veering to the left Buddha, that 30-metre jump, literally jumped from before the kicker and launched over the top. Beautiful technique, and that's some finesse right there.
Yeah, it was beautiful to watch. There is Dobson, exactly what we spoke of just moments ago. He can now see MALKIEWICZ right there in front of him. So MALKIEWICZ has got a lot of pressure about to be applied. Larwood, unfortunately, going down. Has he managed to hold on to the position that he was in front of Wills? Wills was a long way back, so I think he may still be safe in there in fourth place. And again, over the finish line, that gap has come down to 1.9 seconds. So certainly going to be a charge for the last few laps between these two Yamaha riders.
Yeah, as you said, close to a second difference between Dobson and MALKIEWICZ, and MALKIEWICZ is trying his absolute best to hold on to second place, which will be a very, very good result here for him in Moto 2. But Dobson trying to make amends on what almost looked like a riding away, checking out victory, and possibly putting a halt to Wilson Todd's unstoppable run of race wins. And he'll be trying to get back up and try his best to get back up at least into second place. Looking perhaps at the moment with only 4 minutes on the clock, that Wilson Todd with over a 6-second gap now, it's going to be pretty tough to track him down, especially in the kind of form that he's riding in at the moment. He looks so smooth and calculated.
Just watching Dobson go through that part, sometimes it's just easier and quicker just to trail ride around the inside, find your own way rather than blasting around the outside. It's quite a long turn, and going right around the outside was a lot of work to try and keep that gap. And just in saying that, MALKIEWICZ with a bit of a dive in. And,
yeah, so just notice that looked like we've all felt ruts before where they're beautiful, and then sometimes you come across one that's a bit fragile, like doesn't have much substance to it, and that to me almost looked like a berm being blasted, so not much substance to the side of that left-handed rut wall there, and I'm wondering how long until someone pushes through and loses the front end there.
back to second and third right now.
It's closing up.
Yep, it's closing up massively over this last lap. I know that there was a mistake made by Dobson in the bottom corner just after the crossover of the start line. It looked like he missed a gear, actually pulled it right up, but certainly close right now. This is the battle that's going to close this race out between these two. And
completely different rhythms through that whoop section there as Dobson tries to make his way up the inside. MALKIEWICZ very fast through this section here, and over the single we see a big launch there. It looks like Jesse Dobson's been watching some Kyle Webster replays.
Through the right-hander to the mechanics area, I see a dive coming down into this next corner potentially for these guys. Who gets the better run up and over the top? As we look to the inside here, remember after they dropped down off this hill, Dobson had a nice easy line around the inside. MALKIEWICZ has been running out wide. It was a favoured line by Larwood earlier on. So they go through this right into that long left-hander.
Beautiful protected line there from MALKIEWICZ, and let's see what Jesse Dobson does here. Yes, right to the inside. He knew where his passing move was going to be, and you called it, Danny Ham.
Yeah, he hasn't made it stick yet, but certainly has the pressure on as they go through this last part. Big drive up here towards this tabletop. And it looks like the pass is going to be made.
Wow, that was incredible footage there to capture what was set up from 3 corners back, and you literally saw the change in body intensity and how much effort he put in. Jesse Dobson, the moment that he saw Bailey MALKIEWICZ start to hook right, he just dove straight for the inside, and he knew it might take 2 or 3 corners, and he just had to let it all hang out.
Ooh, front wheel tucked in after all the hard work, almost throws it away there. But he has got the job done. He sits there in second now as we have a look again. Look at the inside. He had to work for it through here. The pass wasn't made just yet, took all the way to the very end of that one and put himself in a rough line down here.
And I like how MALKIEWICZ didn't pull the ejector seat. He still jumped this jump all the way. He would have been stressing a little bit, landed to the inside, he had to thread the needle.
Yeah, you saw him look over on the way up the ramp, and look on screen, mate, who we got?
Regan Duffy, how good is that to see him there? And of course, next to Campbell Williams and Charlie Cannon on the left-hand side there. We got, how much talent can you possibly have in 3 humans?
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see them out here watching and supporting all of these guys and friends out on track as well.
And it was good to get Regan Duffy up doing a bit of commentary at round 1.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Wilson Todd with a 7.6 second lead here in the Pirelli Moto 2 of the MX2 class. 25 seconds to go here, and he has done what it takes. Stretch it out even a little bit more, 8.5 seconds, and there we see him with the number 20 on the factory Honda HRC machine. A little bit of a foot dab, but when your legs are about 6 foot long, that doesn't matter too much.
Through this big long left-hand sweeper. We saw this in Moto number 1. He built himself up a huge lead, and then he was able just to monitor and control over that last lap, and I suspect we'll see the same sort of thing again in this one. There's plenty of room for him to relax and enjoy a little bit and just take his time, make sure that he makes no mistakes, takes his time through the lapped riders. It's very important to make sure you don't get caught up with anything unexpected. And down into the big flyover. Have a look at this little hop here before he gets to the top of the jump.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
And of course into this right-hander where he really has been in a league of his own on that particular corner right there. It wasn't his best that he's done in the race that time. There was a couple where you just look and just go, wow, you want to have video of that to be able to watch and study it. But he's just so comfortable in those parts of the track. Bike obviously working exceptionally well, and he is about to, as he receives the last lap board here, log in his 4th win from 4 starts, and this now is starting to spell disaster for his competitors.
Yeah, everyone's going to be going back asking what they've got to do to try and keep up with the speed of this Honda out in front. That new 250 certainly does look like it's doing well. The 2022 machine, as they launch across that start line, it works well underneath him. They are gelling, these two, and he is a much stronger ride this time by Wilson Todd compared to what we saw at round 1.
I'm going to say this is the first moto that I've seen him ride to his potential. Even Moto 1 today, I don't believe is the Wilson Todd that I expected to see. He's won all 3 of those motos, but his 4th race, the one we're currently watching, this is the Wilson Todd I thought was going to rock up. Doesn't matter how you do it, a win's a win.
Absolutely. Provisional points at the moment with the way they finished. If they finish there, it would have Wilson Todd, of course, with a perfect score of 100. Alex Larwood maintains that second. MALKIEWICZ is in 3rd. Dobson and Wills. So still, it's stretched out a little bit, but there's still plenty of time. A lot of motos yet in this championship for the guys to make up those points. They're really going to have to put in the homework, though, when they get back this week and moving forwards.
And once again, can't emphasise enough. I know we've mentioned it a couple of times, but as we see Chandler Burns here, and we see Michael Burns, the old man, sitting there, he's waving the rag around. Looks like we've got an overheating bike going on at the moment. Who knows what could have caused that? Any number of things. Could have been a tip over, a little bit of dirt perhaps in the radiator shrouds. Could be a number of things, but yeah, fantastic job for our race leader out there. Wilson Todd doing exactly what he is paid to do, and that is win races.
Around the last couple of turns, what a ride it has been for Wilson Todd. He has done everything right from start to finish as he lines himself up to make his way through this final run. I like this little brat as he goes into that corner, gets on the gas nice and early, lights it up over the finish line, and he will take the win in Moto number 2 and the overall for the day. What a Superman.
Nice.
Very nice.
Was he watching Danny Ham back in the early to mid 1990s?
That was probably about my best Superman ever. So great job right there, and a fantastic win.
Jesse Dobson back there in 2nd place, and now we see the boys giving themselves a nice little shake of the hand. Bailey MALKIEWICZ comes in, a thumbs up and a knuckles. 3 riders doing an incredible job taking out those top 3 places. And I would like to just point out there, just prior to Chandler Burns coming on screen, I was about to make mention of Alex Larwood and how easy it would have been for him to be sipping on some lattes on the couch with, you know, his arm in a sling after coming out of hospital. But no, he's going to find himself comfortably in second place in the championship. And that's what happens when you've got a big heart and you tough it out. You can find yourself in good positions even with an injury. But it's all about this guy at the moment. You don't get much out of him when he gets a microphone in his mouth, but hopefully we get a bit more from him this time. But you can see a little bit of a wheelie there. Let's not loop it out and snap a rear fender. That won't be good for the team budget, although I'm sure they won't mind after 4 from 4 wins. Let's have a look at the Pirelli results. MX2 Moto 2. Wilson Todd with another dominating victory. Jesse Dobson and Bailey Malkiewicz, teammates there, second and third, back to Alex Larwood and Dylan Wills rounding out the top 5.
Kingsford, Bud Ferguson, Connolly with another good ride. Ty Jones, again, top 10. Fantastic effort by all of these guys.
Pirelli MX2, Bailey Malkiewicz, third overall for the day, mate. Probably not what you were chasing, but still a really good result in terms of a championship overall.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not the result that I wanted. The first moto really didn't help out a lot. Yeah, just gave it all my energy at the start of the race, and yeah, just didn't have it at the end with these two boys. But no, I felt good. And yeah, just excited to get back on the box again and just keep these points rolling in.
Great result, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Sneak straight over here to Jesse Dobson. Jesse Dobson, fastest qualifier today, mate. Obviously you know your way around here, so it's nice to end up second overall.
Yeah, that last race was better then, and yeah, we qualified fastest, which was good, and I ripped a whole shot in that last one, which is I've been chasing that for years, so finally got a whole shot and led some laps, but a silly mistake put me on the ground and cost me, but you know, we're just trying to put the pieces together. I got a good support crew, and we're all working really hard, and you know, I'm just trying to stay positive and keep chipping away at this thing and not let Wilson get too much of a lead. That's going to be a challenge right now, isn't it? Yeah, he's riding pretty good. We're all riding really good. The boys are twisting it this year. You know, Alex, Reese, Bailey, Wilson. So it's been some good racing. But yeah, I want to get up the front a little bit more and challenge Wilson. Congrats on a good day. Thank you.
Just going to sneak over here now. Wilson Todd, you got as much time on the TV today as I have, mate. Congratulations, 2 from 2.
Sweet, thanks. Yeah, can't complain with today. We were a little bit slow at the start of the day, but 2 good starts, and that's what matters the most. You know, being up the front, and you know, Jesse was on it in those first few laps, but yeah, just tried to stay nice and consistent and what I could do to the end. So I'm happy with how it went.
100 points from 100 possible points, mate. Moving forward, congratulations. Look forward to the next one.
Yeah, cheers.
So the riders have funneled their way down and onto their starting line, and of course for race number 2 here for the MX3, brought to you by Maxxis Tyres. Now, I think confidence and consistency is something that tends to, once you've got it in the bag, flows in throughout the rest of the day. And generally, if you get yourself a good start in the first one, it quite often flows through into the second one. Will we see Ryan Alexanderson, Caden Minier and Connor Towell get another good start, or can Campbell Williams turn it around and get himself a whole shot? There we have it, 5-second board up. Keep your eyes peeled on the starting gate. Who will get this whole shot?
Well, it's a pretty even start out. We've got our first almost whole shot from the inside.
Caden Minier, that is Caden Minier's body position. I believe I can pick it from a mile away. I'll be interested to see if he can hold it down into turn 2. And he does. That yellow number, every time you see a number board with yellow numbers on it, they're your juniors, ladies and gentlemen. There he is, number 66, Caden Minier with a whole shot. The white numbers with the black background, they're your seniors. So they've turned 16 or 17 years of age.
Miles Gilmore on the 18 machine sits there in second place. He also has Hunter Collins, another rider we expect to see a lot more out of. He sits there in third place, but Minier already is starting to open up a small lead straight out of the gate on this one. He wants to try and run away, check out best we can. Byron Dennis back there in 5th place, Rosendich in 4th.
Campbell Williams on screen, if this is correct, has gone from 5th place to 2nd in about 4 corners. So we'll try to get tabs on those top 3 and see where they're at.
Yeah, I thought I saw a Honda there just off that drop off on the back screen. So there is our race leader. Let's look towards the back and see.
No, it's still at Yamaha. Yep. So I think, yeah, but without a doubt, Campbell in 3rd place. So he's come from outside of the top 5 up to 3rd place in this first lap. The rider has gone down, so yellow flag has come out here. Be interested to see which one of those front place getters has managed to go down. Beautiful style from Caden Minia up and over that tabletop.
Well, I think it might be Campbell Williams.
Perhaps.
Yeah, I didn't see him just there on that shot. He certainly doesn't look like... Well, that might be him just there. It is. He's there in third, but he did drop back a little bit. So maybe the slightest of tip-overs or close to a tip-over that put that yellow flag out. Four-way battle here, number 28.
You know who we have lost once again is Connor Towell, I believe, who's down in 19th place now. He was up in the top 3, so I believe that might have been Connor Towell that went down.
Okay.
So as riders start to file themselves into order, I guess the one that is doing exceptionally well at the moment that we kind of perhaps not expected up there is a fantastic start from Miles Gilmore in 2nd place. So let's see how long he can keep that pace up there. Without a doubt, Campbell Williams really wants to get up there and battle with Caden Minia. The rivalry between these two is just palpable.
Holroyd and Collins on screen, 664 there. Hunter Collins, he's trying to do his best to get onto the back of Holroyd, who made that pass just moments ago, so he crossed over the start line. They're just there behind. Rosenditch still, Byron Dennis in 4th, who's a little bit in front of them. Let's see if he can try and close in onto our top 3 runners at the moment, but those 3 have checked out.
Now, Hammy, just a quick little mention here. Our race 1 winner, Ryan Alexanderson, 25th place at the moment. So really what we're staring down the barrel of here is a nice little battle between Caden Minia and Campbell Williams for the overall victory here. As it sits at the moment, a 2-1 for Caden Minia is quite a distant overall victory here. It's really all in his hands to do it. As we say that, with a little bit of a loose Campbell Williams back there in that corner is starting to let it all hang out and really trying to keep tabs on the race leader.
Miles Gilmore's really putting in a great performance.
Riding very, very well. So Miles Gilmore, the Gilmore family, Western Australians. You think of Western Australians, sand riders, but they're from Kalgoorlie. Red, hard pack, red type plate. So you would dare say, being a Western Australian, I'm not going to say he's quite as much of a sand specialist as a Caden Minia. However, if you're a WA rider, you can ride deep stuff.
If you're a WA rider, you have experienced plenty of sand, I'm sure. And right now he is doing a great job sitting there in 2nd, 1.5 seconds back behind our leader as we go across the start line with 15 minutes left to go in this one. These 3 riders, sorry, are just a class of their own. Oh, big moment.
Very close to a knifed front end there. We've seen that multiple times here at Mackay, and that was close. He was really quite lucky, shall we say. Starting to close up ever so slightly, and I'm talking all 3. So Caden Minia starting to come back towards Miles Gilmore with Campbell Williams reeling in the both of them. So we've got a nice little battle on our hands here. Welcome back to Mackay for round 2 of the PIRELLI ProMX Championships. We are mid-moto for the MX3 class, brought to you by Max's Tyres. On screen at the moment, Miles Gilmore doing a fantastic job. Finds himself just 1 second behind race leader Caden Minia, who's coming under increasing pressure, and Campbell Williams back in 3rd place has just dropped off ever so slightly.
Yeah, the lap times aren't really that much different over the last couple of laps, but yeah, he's just creeping back just that little bit, and right now he's getting to that danger point of where he could easily drop off the back of these 2, and these 2 could run away with it. Great resilience here by Minia out in front to deal with the pressure. Gilmore with a slight front wheel tuck going through that corner. Both of them using that very deep line that we saw Cloud come unstuck, and right there Gilmore also, the back end stepping out through those ruts.
Well, I think it's important, Danny, as an MX3 rider and a young rider, with all 3 that we're talking about here, but let's extract Miles Gilmore for a second and just focus on Caden Minia and Campbell Williams, because if results stay exactly how they are at the moment, we've got Campbell Williams that went 1-1 at the first round and obviously had a huge points lead, and Caden Minia had a 3 and I believe 6th or 7th in the second moto. And we're looking at Campbell Williams here, who today has gone 4th in the first moto and he's staring down the barrel of a 3rd here. Sometimes you need to take what you can get, not force the issue, and it's hard to put a mature head on some young shoulders. And if that's what you're going to get on a day that's not yours, it's not It's not your one thaggy where you're going to go 1-1. You're making some mistakes. You're not feeling it. You may be pumping up a little bit. Sometimes you've got to take that. And he'll still leave with the red plate if positions stay how they are at the moment.
Yeah, good points for exactly what you need. And especially considering the position that he is in, leading the championship before these races, 100%. You should be looking for that safety way out and not push it too hard. Have that potential to end up on the ground again in this one and go further back. Minia still controls it though as we look to around about 9 minutes left, just over in this race. And always down in this part, we see Gilmore close up going into that one. As we take a look now at a replay, the Honda replay, and I think this is of Tao and why he's dropped so far back. We look at this jump here. I'm not sure if we're going to catch it this time. We might get back to that one. But Minia there still holding down the lead. And it's been yo-yoing a bit, hasn't it, between them? They get close, they pull out just that little bit on each other.
And quite often on a track like this, that's what can easily happen, because you'll find one rider will have a strong part of the track and the other rider strong on the other part. And then also, with a track like this that is so technical and difficult, the smallest of mistakes is reflected in the gap in between. Let's take another look and see if we can have a quick look at this Honda replay and see what happened to Connor Tao. Okay, so obviously trying to get back on his bike. We didn't see what happened in the initial stages, but he's like riding a bull there, something going on.
I think that was when we saw that yellow flag and we thought it possibly could have been Campbell Williams. It's around about the same time.
Deep in that tight section for sure is what that was all about.
Yes, unfortunate for him. Again, a good start to the day. It starts with that race at least, and back in the pack. So a bit more work ahead of him before we get to the next round, but we've seen the speed out of him and we know that he can be up there. Just need to get a little bit more consistency as we see Williams stretching it out up and over that jump just before the finish line. And this is the tricky part of the track. We haven't really spoken much on it, but these whoops, they're not symmetrically perfect, are they? They're a little bit all over the place, and there's no exact way of getting through it. It's a very difficult section.
No, it was great in MX1 qualifying and practice to see, Gibbsy and Waters, all those guys launching in and jumping right the way into it. Let's go down to Cam. I think finally we've got an update on some of our injured riders. What have you got for us, Cam?
Tough moto for City Yamaha Monster Energy rider Luke Clout. Craig Dack, an update on Luke's condition?
Yeah, not good. He's looks like he's broken his tib and fib. It's not compound, but that's a pretty nasty break. So the bottom of his leg is separated. 2 bones are snapped. He's knocked his head as well. That's about the extent of it that we know now. I actually couldn't see the crash, but I believe it was on the screen. It was just a high-speed left-hand sweeper. Bike got out of shape, he got out of shape, and face planted to the up ramp at the jump. So very unfortunate, because he's been riding extremely well and was leading the championship. But the main thing, he's in good care and he's going to be okay. It's a broken bone, which is bad, but everything else is okay.
Best wishes, Greg. Thanks for your time.
No worries, mate.
Yeah, great to hear from Craig and to hear firsthand what's happened. Like Craig pointed towards, yes, it's terrible, it's not what you want to hear, but a broken bone, compared to so many other things that could happen, a bone will heal itself. Let's hope that his head is okay, but devastating news. It's such a shame to lose our championship points leader when we knew the battle that was about to erupt for the championship and who was going to get to carry the red plate. To see Webster and Cloud and Tanti all doing their thing was really looking forward to that. So devastating news, and you can hear it in Craig's voice as well.
Only moments left in this one. Well, 6 minutes left in this one for our race leader. As we take a bit of a look back a little deeper in the field, that is the 42 of Jet Alsop, just making his way around towards the finish line. That is Byron Dennis on the 23. That was just in screen, back up towards the finish line. He sits in front of Seth Birchall, another rider from sort of my way. I've seen a lot of him racing throughout New South Wales, a very quick rider as well, so great to see him up there. He didn't quite have the round number 1 that I thought he might have had, but certainly this is a much better position, much more where I thought he would be running as we went into these MX3s. Good battle starting to develop between these two right now as they cross over that start line.
Yeah, anytime you see a rider up there on screen getting a bit of TV time with a yellow number on their plate, being a junior, it's just phenomenal. It's great, and it's so difficult to do against these seniors. You need to remember the development. We're not talking the difference between a 23 and a 24-year-old. We're talking a 14 to 15 or a 15 to 16. The development that you get in a 12-month period at that particular age is huge. I remember seeing Bailey Malkiewicz, the difference in him physically in a 12-month period around that time, around 15. He went from being shorter than me to being about 7 foot tall, and how we see him at the moment, you know. And not only that, the mental and emotional changes that they're going through, etc. So, yeah, to see a kid out there leading with yellow numbers on, and like you were talking about, Seth Birchall there in a top 5 as a junior is just incredible. It's really good.
Making their way through some lap riders are our leaders, and it did get very close there for just a second, but unfortunate for Gilmore, he did get the worst of that deal. As we see, Minia also right now might be held up into this turn.
And just quickly to touch on Danny back there in 3rd place, it's like Campbell Williams has, you know, decided, hey, look, I'm going to stick with 3rd place here. I'm going to take these points, and that's what we're going to roll with, and we're going to be smart here. We're going to come back to fight another day. Up at the head of the pack, Caden Minia. While we've spoken so much about him as a 13-year-old, he finished 3rd in the championship last year. Had to put in an application just to be able to race. He needed to get a special exemption. He was that young, and didn't get 3rd in a round. He got 3rd overall in the MX3 Championship, so quite incredible. And then to do what he did at round 1, to come from last place up to 3rd in Moto 1. There's been so much talk and so much hype about Caden Minia, how good he is, yes, etc., etc. However, this will be his first moto win. He hasn't won a moto win, and not only will it be his first moto win, he'll log his first overall. He's got a bit of pressure from behind, however, he doesn't need to beat Miles Gilmore to be able to get the overall. Even if Miles passed him, he's still going to get the overall win. However, if I know Caden Minia as well as I do, does not want to get past and finish 2nd to take his first overall win, and I believe his first moto win will be just as important to him as the overall.
Over that massive tabletop. That's around about 22 metres, I would think, by our walking earlier on today to have a look at the track. Very big jump as they swing around, and an awkward one there as well. That's all uphill. It doesn't really show you that on the camera itself, exactly how steep that is through there. So makes it very tricky to climb up out of that turn, as we see Minia into the right-hander again. Really smooth through there.
So comfortable.
So nice through that.
Poetry in motion through that run, and that's it. You could almost be forgiven to think that you're looking at a wet Manjimup turn 2, turn 3 through there. It's his bread and butter. He does it so exceptionally well.
Towards the finish line, I know he'll be looking for that last lap board, but neither of these guys have really shown any signs of fatigue in this race. Still looking very comfortable, mistake-free as they work their way through the lap riders. A little bit of a
little triple there.
Yeah, he kind of, it unsettled him. It wasn't what he was looking to do, but then he made the most of it and changed up that rhythm and got himself into a bit of a triple through there, which worked out quite well as well. So into this left-hander, coming up on some more lap riders, plenty more to negotiate before the end of this race, but so far he's done an exceptional job of getting through them all.
A minute 35 on the clock to go. So next time he comes past the finish line area, he certainly will receive the last lap board. So not long to go now, and this is a pivotal moment. And I'm not going to call it the changing of the guard, because we've known for such a long time Caden Minia is coming. I think, you know, by the time he was, you know, age 12 or 13, he already had about 7 Aussie junior titles in his books. So we've known this has been coming for a long time. MX3, to be able to come out and do this and go 2-1 and win the overall quite convincingly is really incredible at such a young age.
It looks like Gilmore might have accepted that 2nd place for the moment. He has dropped back just a little bit out of this one, knowing that we are getting towards the end of this race. Just the same as Campbell Williams has decided by the looks of things that he's going to be happy to finish there. It's a great run through here, and then take that confidence into the next round, maybe put up the fight again.
How's the style up and over the big 30-metre booter there for Caden Minia? Such a fantastic family, just very low-key. There's no arrogance, nothing about them that you think to yourself, oh, no, great rider, but, you know, family need to tone it down. Quite the opposite, actually. Older brother Jordan, a good rider in his own right, but just both kids always got a smile on their face. Dad Dylan, just one of those dads that you know, kind of like your Brady Bunch dad. And, you know, always got something nice to say about someone. And they're the kind of families that you see success and you go, yes, they deserve it. You know, it's good to see. You know, so couldn't come across to a better rider and a better family. It's probably coming a little bit earlier than most people would anticipate, but not for these guys. They've seen this coming. It's a strategic plan. There's all kinds of things in motion. You need to, if you knew the map that was laid out in front of Caden Minia and we're sort of expected and hoping to go over the next year or two. But you've got to dream big, don't you? And this is the way it's set up. With moments like these when you're under the world spotlight, not just Australia watching here, there's so many eyes watching.
Well, as Minia went across the finish line with 3 seconds left on the clock, he was not able to grab that last lap board, so he has still got these 2 laps to go before he closes this one out. 100% now, Miles Gilmore has conceded.
Yes.
Yep.
But what a fantastic job.
Absolutely. He is happy to finish there in second, and so he should be. He get the pressure on the entire time. Sometimes all you got to do is just keep that pressure on the leader, try and force that mistake, even if you're not quite right on the back wheel, and things do come to you. He did that, applied the pressure the entire race. Nothing came of it. He didn't want to push himself into an uncomfortable position, so good choice here to ride this one out and get a good second place and pick up some valuable points as well.
Some crazy lines going on in these MX3 riders, just trying to do anything they can to avoid these bumps in these late stages of the race. On camera at the moment, of course, Miles Gilmore sitting in a very solid second placing, and he's a good 16 seconds ahead of Campbell Williams. So quite a lonely ride for him now that he's dropped back close to 8 seconds behind his fellow Western Australian rider, Caden Minia, who is up at the head of the pack and done everything he needed to do. And even if it was about to, you know, turn into a knockdown, drag-out brawl for that race lead, he would have been prepared to do it. Didn't eventuate. It's going to end up a nice, comfortable victory if everything stays the way that they go at the moment. So last lap board out for Miles Gilmore, which of course means that Caden Minia received that a good 10 seconds ago, and he is headed off into this final lap.
Just looking down the order also on the left-hand side. Oh my lordy lord, don't do that, my friend. You have done all the hard work. You do not want to do that at the end of the race.
You could see his head tilted to the side, just going, what was I thinking?
Going through the order on the left, Alsop has made his way past a couple of riders, past Dennis, up into 4th place. So 5th for Dennis, Keane back there in 6th place for Fitzpatrick in there in 7th. And I was trying to get to Alexanderson from way back. It's now back there in 8th. So he's come through quite a long way himself. A good solid ride to try and pick up some points.
Not a bad job when you consider 1st place in Moto 1. That can mean that an 8th, you may be up there. He's just moved up into 7th. So I was about to say Campbell Williams almost certainly will end up somewhere on the podium, whether it's 2nd or 3rd. It's really quite tough. We'll have to wait and see once they're added up. But when you've got a 1st and a 7th, if Alexanderson can make his way up another spot, but that's almost certainly not going to happen with the gap between Ty Keane and himself. We're getting to the very, very late stages here of the final lap. And we can see Caden Minia about to approach this huge jump up and over. Yeah, nice.
He's happy.
No legger for the fans there. He would have practiced that a few times at home, no doubt. And he is coming through quite possibly one of his favourite parts of the track where he looks exceptionally comfortable. These switchbacks, has a look over his left-hand shoulder. No one behind you, my friend. You have stretched out to well over 10-second lead, and it is celebration time. And these are the moments that you cherish, that you remember forever. And he's coming up and he gives it a bit of a nod. And how about that? Double fist pump for the young 14-year-old, and victory in the Maxxis MX3 Moto 2 for Caden Minia, and he will take the overall. What a fantastic ride.
Oh, that is going to be one pumped rider right there, I would say. Fantastic ride also for Miles Gilmore across the line now on that Yamaha after that scary moment on that last lap.
Yeah, and he is pumped.
Yeah, he is. There is third place in Campbell Williams on the 82. And our leader, our winner, I should say, Minia, so excited.
Caden Minia, that is a genuine smile on your face, my friend.
Yeah, it was a good moto. Got the whole shot and just rode my own race. Managed it. I pushed when I needed to, relaxed when I didn't, and yeah, I'm over the moon.
The track forms up, hasn't it? There's a lot of hard bumps and stuff in there, and you're just trying to navigate your way around those, I'm guessing?
Oh, I'm loving the track at the moment. Track's formed up rough, more like WA where I'm from. Yeah, track is mint. Thanks to all the crews for helping out.
And in terms of championship overall, really puts you in a good position now moving forward for the next couple of rounds?
Yeah, Wonthaggi wasn't a very good start, but round 2 now, capitalised on all the mistakes of the other riders and yeah, put myself up in a good place.
Fantastic. Congratulations on the result. We look forward to round 3.
Thank you.
Well, with 2 rounds of the Penrite Oils ProMX Championships in the books already, we head next to the Albury-Wodonga Motocross Club for round 3 of the series, just a stone's throw south of the New South Wales-Victorian border. We can expect cooler conditions and a track that will certainly test the riders with plenty of hard pack and deep ruts, Hammy.
Looking forward to that one. Very tight track and always close racing.
And make sure you don't miss round 3 of the Australian Superbike Series as it heads to Wakefield Raceway near Goulburn, New South Wales, scheduled for April 22nd to 24th after an incredibly successful rounds 1 and 2 at Phillip Island Raceway and Queensland Raceway. We've got Wayne Maxwell, Troy Herfoss, Brian Starring, a bunch of gun riders there. And of course, don't forget the AORC heads next to Kyogle in New South Wales for rounds 5 and 6 of the series, after an incredible doubleheader this weekend at Mackay. And of course, Danny, you did a fantastic job there. All right, guys, well, thanks for joining us here at Mackay for round 2 of the Penrite Oils ProMX Championships, brought to you by AMX Superstores. On behalf of Danny Ham, Ken Williams and myself, Lee Hogan, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next at Albury-Wodonga for round 3 of the Championship.